Hello everyone, back tuning in to today's video. It's Monday on GazWeatherVids.com, which can mean only one thing: it's Europe Day. Although actually for the last couple of weeks I've not been able to do the European Outlook, and I apologise very much for not being able to do the European Outlook. I've had an operation on my mouth a couple of weeks ago, and that just prevented me from being able to do the European weekend forecast. So sorry, but things are back to normal today. Now for a young video, just mention we advertise this video ad sitting above my weather video here on my European page at GazWeatherVids.com. Please play it. You'll be supporting GazWeatherVids.com by doing it. So this is how we're starting today, Monday the 13th of May. We've got low pressure to the north of Scotland. That's really driving the pattern across many central, western and northwestern parts of the continent through today, and it will continue to do so through much of the coming week. So low pressure up to the northwest, bring cool and settled and windy conditions to the west and the northwest. Got high pressure trying to ridge in from the Azores. We've got this little trough over in the east that could be producing some thunderstorms, but really for much of the Mediterranean actually we're under a little ridge of high pressure. So the upper air temperature showing it's very cool across Scandinavia, Britain and Ireland. Really cool indeed, cool air coming around that area of low pressure. Conversely in the east it's really quite warm away to the far northeast. It's warm through much of the Mediterranean as well as central parts of Europe having near normal temperatures. This warmth in the east is a sign of things to come, because the big story about this week is going to be the east-west split. The west is going to remain very cool, whereas the east is going to get very hot as we go towards the end of the week, and that is going to produce some really heavy thunderstorms and torrential rain. We'll come on to that in a moment. Convective potential today. We've got the chance of some thundery showers across some parts of British Isles, but the real convection is away to the northeast with these yellow colours. Could be some thunderstorms up there in the northeast of the continent, and down in the southeast as well. There could be some thunderstorms around Greece and Turkey, possibly a few storms cracking off over parts of Spain. But actually we see on the precipitation forecast not much being forecast for Spain, so despite that there is convective potential, I don't think there'll be too much. This all with precipitation up to the northwest, very showery for Britain, Ireland, down towards the north of France, Germany, very showery in Germany, very showery too, and the southern parts of Norway and Sweden. Yes, we've got some quite heavy rain going on there. There's the thunderstorms up to the northeast associated with that convection, and then down in the southeast as well, through parts of Greece and Turkey. There could be some thunderstorms, but coming through much of the Mediterranean, actually a lot of dry weather today. Temperatures really quite cool for many central and western parts of the continent. The warmth is through the Mediterranean and away to the far east. Things will change though through the middle and latter stages of the week. This is the chart for Wednesday. But low pressure is still churning away there across the British Isles and much of Ireland as well, so still very unsettled in the northwest of Europe, unsettled too down towards these central western parts of the Mediterranean. But notice we're beginning to build high pressure up to the northeast, and that's going to start to drag up some much warmer air out of the Mediterranean for these eastern parts of the continent through the middle of the week. So here comes the warmth already beginning to push up from the eastern Med through these central parts of the continent through the middle of the week, and much of western Russia is quite hot as well. Still very cool though for much of Scandinavia, Denmark, the Low Countries, western Germany, France and Britain and Ireland as well. With that low pressure, very cool indeed. The warmth is in central eastern parts. Could be some thunderstorms through the middle of the week across the eastern parts of Germany into Poland. There is convective potential. Still a chance of convection for Britain, Ireland and northern France as well, in the form of those heavy showers being associated with that low pressure. Through the Mediterranean, again, it's just a suggestion that there may be some convection if we realise the potential. In fact, I think we could do through the middle of the week. Much of Spain and into the central bowl of the Mediterranean, central base of the Mediterranean, there could be some thunderstorms at the resorts of Mallorca, Minorca and Ibiza. Also the risk of some thunderstorms for Corsica and Sardinia and into northern Italy as well. Every central parts of the continent, as we already saw, but it's convective potential definitely for eastern parts of Germany and into Poland as well, associated with this area of rain. Very wet through Denmark and up in towards southern Scandinavia, and that rain hooks back then in towards eastern Scotland. And for Britain and Ireland, we've still got those heavy thundery showers. So many central western parts of the continent having really quite unsettled middle part of the week. The east should be largely dry and turning increasingly warm. So the temperatures through the middle of the week we're into the mid to high 20s across many central and eastern parts of the continent through the middle of the week, easily up to 25 degrees some places, probably up to 27, 28. But in the west and the northwest, it's very cool for Britain and Ireland. Really disappointing temperatures, barely into double figures. Could probably increase that a little bit more, but nevertheless, it's very cool there for Britain, Ireland, France, and down in towards those central and western parts of the Mediterranean as well. Now, through the east, through the latter part of the week, this east-west split will get even more pronounced, and the result is going to be low pressure being spawned through these central parts of the continent. This low pressure is going to be very intense. There's going to be a lot of energy associated with it, and quite where this low pressure is going at the end of the week, it's very difficult to say, but it is giving forecasters a bit of a nightmare. So we've got the ridge up to the northeast, we've got low pressure developing with the heat in central eastern parts of the continent. And then in the west and the northwest, we're still very cool and largely Atlantic dominated. So look at the temperatures, the upper air temperatures through the through to the end of the week. Really hot air coming up into these eastern central parts of the continent. 15, 20 Celsius isotherm coming into these eastern parts of the continent. Really hot air being dragged out of the eastern Mediterranean there. But in the northwest and the west, it's completely different. Much cooler for Britain, Ireland, much of France, Spain, and Portugal. Those upper air temperatures really very disappointing as well. And the dividing line, as I say, is spawning low pressure. So we've got the chance of some very heavy thunderstorms, very violent thunderstorms across many of these central areas of the continent through the course of the latter part of the week. Not too much convection in the west because it's very cool. Could be some thundery showers, but the real convection, I think, will be through these central areas through the end of the week. And look at the precipitation being forecast for much of France, down in towards Corsica, Sardinia, Italy, Balkans, through the Adriatic into the Balkans, Hungary, again some very heavy thunderstorms up in towards Germany, parts of Poland as well. Really heavy torrential violent thunderstorms going on through these central parts of the continent in the middle of the week. There could well be some flooding. In the west, we've still got showery conditions through Britain, Ireland, down in towards west of France and Spain. Still some showery conditions there, but the real violent storms and heavy rain will be in the east. But this low pressure could be a little bit further west actually, so it may well be that some parts of other parts of France, possibly into the southeast of England, could come into the rain as well. The temperatures at the end of the week, we're seeing temperatures easy up to 30 degrees in some eastern parts of the continent, 31, 32, that's around the 90 Fahrenheit mark, very hot. It's hot in these central areas, or very warm, but of course we've got the torrential thunderstorms going on, and it's still very cool, very disappointing temperatures in the west and the northwest at the end of the week. So it looks like we're going to be seeing an east-west split setting up across the continent this week, remaining very cool and unsettled in the west, becoming very hot in the east at the end of the week. The first real heat wave, I think, in the east through the last stages of the week. And in between central areas, we'll get some really heavy rain and thunderstorms as we go to the end of the week and into next weekend. Quite where that thundery area is going to be, still a little bit of uncertainty, but certainly central parts of Europe in for a real hammering from violent thunderstorms through the latter stage of the week. That's it for now. Have a good week.